Good morning, this is your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing, starting off with some mild temperatures, slightly breezy conditions, and some scattered clouds around the area. We'll see a front approaching the area today, bringing in some pretty breezy conditions as we move through today. Good chance of seeing wind advisory for much of the day today. And additionally, behind that front, we'll see some drier and cooler air, bringing more fall-like temperatures into the region for the next couple of days. If we take a look at the current surface analysis, we could see we got an upper level trough digging into the eastern part of the country. Along that, have this area of low pressure that's going to continue tracking east northeasterly, and the center of that staying out of the local area, but we will be seeing this boundary that's trailing behind it pushing through the area today. That's going to shift those winds more northwesterly, and that tight pressure gradient is going to bring those breezy conditions today. And then we'll see that trough continue to dig into the region, bringing in those cooler temperatures and possibly some light rain chances as we get later in the day tomorrow and into the evening time frame, and then high pressure building in as we move through the remainder of the week. But if we start off looking at current conditions this morning, a few clouds, 13,000 feet, scattered at 16,000, scattered at 18,000, seeing winds out of the west at 5 knots, seeing those peak winds a little bit higher than that. Temperature at 68 degrees, and our relative humidity is at 75%. Take a look at the current visible satellite. We can see those mid and high level clouds kind of scattered across the area, pushing through, and should see some additional sun as we move into the first part of the afternoon. But as that boundary approaches, likely seeing some high clouds continue to build into the area as we go into the evening. If we look at the short-term high-resolution model, see how things are expected to play out as we move through the day today. Again, expecting dry conditions as we move through the day today. Just looking at a few clouds around, but plenty of sun, but looking at very breezy conditions moving through. As we go into the evening, we'll start to see those stronger winds backing off, and we'll see cooler air start to move into the area. We'll see some high clouds around the area as we move into the start of the day on Tuesday. Tuesday overall looks mainly dry. We'll see some slightly breezy conditions, but not quite as breezy as what we'll see today. And we'll see a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies. And then as we get later into the late afternoon and evening time frame, we start to see, as that trough continues to dig into the area with some shortwave energy in it, possibly bringing a few showers into our local area. As you can see, this is 20 local tomorrow, as depicted by the model here. Some simulated reflectivity possibly pushing through the area, and then we should see those rain chances start to diminish as we get past midnight, with things once again becoming dry. And as we move into the day on Wednesday, looking at mainly dry conditions, slightly breezy once again, and we'll see mainly partly cloudy skies. Could see some mostly cloudy skies at times. So looking at our 24-hour weather risk chart for today, the main risk as we move through our daytime hours today will be those winds at or above 25 knots, likely seeing a wind advisory as we get into the later morning hours, and that will likely continue into the first part of the evening, as you can see, picking up an orange risk for those winds this morning, and then up to a red risk as we move through the afternoon, first part of the evening, and then starting to drop down as we move into the later evening time frame. Looking at winds shifting more out of the west, 12 to 17 knots, gusting up to 26 knots by late morning. Then we'll see westerly winds 13 to 18 knots, gusting up to 30 knots as we move through the afternoon time frame. Then once that boundary pushes through, we'll see those winds shifting more northwesterly. We'll see some peak gusts up around 23 knots behind that boundary, and then we'll slowly start to see those winds tapering off more out of the north-northwest and becoming fairly light as we get into the start of the day on Tuesday. Our high temperature today will be around 72 degrees, likely later this morning, ahead of the front and the winds increasing. And then we'll gradually start to see those temperatures falling off, particularly as we get behind the front, and seeing those low temperatures cooling down to around 44 degrees, which is below average for this time of year. So some cooler temperatures moving into the area. Overall cloud cover, just looking at a few lower clouds, around 4,000 to 5,000 feet moving through the area for most of the day today, but we will be contending with those mid and upper level clouds, mainly around 18,000 feet. And then as we get to the evening, we'll see some additional cloud cover around 25,000 feet, and it's still continuing with a few of those lower level clouds around 2,500 to 3,000 feet. Tides are running about a half a foot below normal today, and our next couple days partly sunny to mostly cloudy for our Tuesday. Slight chance of a light rain shower again late afternoon, evening time frame. Much of the working hours will be dry. Seeing slightly breezy conditions, but not expecting wind advisory criteria to be met for tomorrow, with those peak gusts up around 18, 19 knots. And we will see a cooler day with a high around 61 degrees. So looking at a yellow risk for that precip chance again late in the day, most likely after close of business. And then moving into Tuesday night, we'll see mostly the partly cloudy conditions, the continuing lingering chance of light rain showers early on, and we'll see that tapering down. A cooler evening with a low around 43. And then Wednesday, we're looking at green conditions for our weather risk with partly to mostly cloudy conditions at times. We'll see slightly breezy winds, slightly breezier than what we'll see on Tuesday, but still expecting right now to stay below that wind advisory criteria. We'll see our high around 58 degrees. That's going to wrap up the 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. We'll be back again at 10 a.m. Take a look at the extended forecast. Enjoy your morning.